I'd rather not. Hey, what's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome in to the CHGO Bulls Podcast, coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. I'm Peck, Bulls_Peck. Big day, bam! BAWL Sports, looking fresh today, as always. Will the GOAT, perfectly coiffed, Will_Gottlieb. Our pound producer on the controls is Joey Spathis at Joey Spathis. Happy Thursday. One day away from the weekend, y'all.
Shout out to the taper Joey got right there.
Thank you, Dave.
The who?
Long
Don't
time.
worry about it. It's a haircut.
Joey Fresh cut.
That's slang for haircut?
Yeah, it's not slang.
Taper?
It is not slang.
It's a fade, is what I would say.
Yeah,
No?
yeah.
The top's not a full. It's not
a white guy fade, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not an exaggerated. It's not an exaggerated
To be
fade.
fair, Joey is a white guy.
Yeah, to be fair.
But the sides are faded.
Okay, all right. You know what? I'm gonna let you have it.
It's not like a
because you look
crazy-
nice. You look very nice.
I appreciate you,
very
Dave.
Cool, man.
I appreciate you. So maybe the longest I've ever gone without getting my hair cut in my adult life. So I think I went from 155 maybe to 153.
Oh.
Are you saying you cut off 2 pounds of hair?
Well, you know, I didn't have a scale or anything, but that's my estimations.
Yeah, I do want to share something with you.
What's up?
So,
Wait, hold on. Before you share something with me, does George ever rock the fade? George Sr.?
Nah, George doesn't have as good of.
Do you have a brother named George Jr.?
No.
Okay, just checking.
just baby.
I just like referring to him as George Sr.
Yeah, there's no
sister.
senior.
Yeah.
There's no junior or senior. But yeah, George doesn't have enough hair on the sides, I'd say, to really rock a nice fade. But
Oh, I disagree.
he's got some good lettuce.
Came in here with
He
a full head of hair.
George in his recent years since the pandemic, he's got some nice lettuce on the back. So he's got some lacrosse player curls coming out of the back, and it's got some salt and pepper.
Lacrosse player curls in the back.
It's a good look for him. You know, lettuce coming out of his helmet, almost. You know,
I never heard it referred to as lettuce before.
yeah, his lettuce.
Okay.
He's got some
Lettuce
good
on the
lechuga on
Like
the
that.
back there.
Okay.
Salt and pepper. Looks good. Good look for him. Shout out to you, George, if you're
He's a
watching.
smooth guy, man. Shout out to the cool one. The cool young sir.
What did you want to talk about?
I don't know if you saw this, but Lou Malnati's and Portillo's
Yeah.
combined to make a Lou Malnati's Portillo's pizza.
I did see this.
The Italian beef pizza.
Yes.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say
Which is like
a pizza.
not just a
milkshake.
pizza with Italian beef toppings on it, like Italian beef and jarred.
Correct.
But like literally combining the two.
Literally combining the two.
Yes.
Can you
I was
pull
looking
this
at a
up,
picture
Joey?
of it.
I got to see this.
Yeah, you got to see a picture of it.
I am intrigued,
but the
I will
price-
say for the record, I wished that Portillo's had collabed with a different pizza joint. I am on the record on a CHGO video
Yeah.
that I think Lou Malnati's is trash.
Yes,
And
yes.
I
remember.
stand by that.
And you can stand right by it, sir. I'll
I
still eat it.
disagree. I am on record.
Well,
I'll
yeah,
eat it all the
because
time.
you're
You
young
show
and
me
not
some.
smart. Your taste buds haven't developed yet.
So I don't
Don't
fully
take that from
see.
Matt.
I just let it. I let it roll
What
off
are you
my.
talking about?
First is a vegetable. Don't take it from that, bro.
I just
don't take it from
I
me.
let it roll off my back at this point. I don't understand. Why is this any different than a normal? Just the official.
Well, I'll tell you, like-
the official Portillo's beef.
Yes. The official Portillo's, it's made like an Italian beef, but it's Portillo's.
But-
you can order this, and you get 2 of them, and you also get 2 pounds of Portillo's Italian beef.
That's all I need.
You also get 2 quarts of the signature gravy.
Yeah.
You also get 8 of the Italian rolls, 8-ounce sweet peppers, and 8 ounce of the hot giardiniera. How much you think that's running for, Will?
Like,
$250.
I was going to say like $1.50.
Oh, 141.
Wow, what a deal.
I was actually going to say 140, but then I was like, there's no way it's 140.
Almost nailed it.
There's a way.
There's exactly one way that it's 140.
Jeremy in the comments said, "Damn, you're making me hangry." Sorry about that.
Damn, I wish I said
It
140.
is it is good for your
Right.
cholesterol
Running
levels,
sick.
fish. Just combining the 2 Chicago staples of deep dish pizza.
But if you
and
want a deep dish
Italian beef
pizza, go to Salerno's.
Yeah, that's
Sorry,
right.
That's very true.
50% off.
50%
Shout out to
off.
Salerno's.
You can't beat that at all. Can't beat that with a bet.
I just did our Thursday Salerno's Tavern style with our pal Vinny today.
Flex.
Earlier. He predicted the
Did
Bears
you pick
schedule.
on Vinny?
No, we had a great time.
Okay,
He
all right.
self-admittedly is not very up to date with current NFL rosters.
Okay. Oh, so you did pick on him.
He literally, he hadn't even looked at the Bears schedule that got dropped yesterday, and I just took him from week 1 to week 18 and made him pick Bears win, Bears loss.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just shouting out NFL players from like the 70s and 80s.
That's pretty awesome.
It was fun.
I like that.
Shout out to Lernos.
Shout out.
All right, guys. Fun stuff to get to today. We are going to talk a little bit about the fact that the Cavs were, sadly for them, eliminated from the playoffs last night. Lost in 5 to the Celtics in that Eastern Conference semi-series. And already today, wow, did y'all read that Shams collab report with some of those other athletic guys?
I read it like 3 times.
There is so much in there. It is insane.
was
Jimmy
dense.
Bickerstaff might be fired. They might trade Garland. They might try to re-sign Mitchell. If they can't re-sign Mitchell, they might trade Mitchell. Jared Allen, people think he's a bum. Evan Mobley never wanted to get drafted by the Cavs in the first place.
Right.
That column was hot fire.
You don't want to take a shot in your ribs.
Yeah. So we are going to pivot that conversation into if the Cavs are calling all kinds of people this summer, desperate to trade one of Garland or Mitchell, might the Bulls be able to get involved in those phone calls and trades? Yep. Maybe finding themselves a way to get off of Zach LaVine. Maybe a Zach LaVine solution lies over there in Cleveland where no one ever wants to vacation. But before we get to all of that, we did also want to touch on a little bit of Lonzo Ball update stuff. He, in case you missed it,
hey Julia,
riveting news. Lonzo Ball launched a podcast with his brother LiAngelo and a couple of their buddies that is called the What an Experience podcast, talking hoops, talking culture, talking whatever else is on their minds. And in their first episode that just dropped the other day, of course, one of his co-hosts asked Lonzo for an update on how Lonzo's feeling right now after his umpteenth knee surgery. And Lonzo Ball said this, quote, "It's coming along, man, week by week. It's improving, so that's all I can ask for. Still not where I want it to be. Out of 100, I'd say I'm about a 70. Good enough to play, but it could still get better. I still have a long summer ahead of me, but I'm definitely looking forward to the future," end quote. And again, that was Lonzo on his new pod, What an Experience. So, also, combined with that, I did see a couple people posting some video of Lonzo on a basketball court, dribbling, shooting, running, kind of jumping when he's shooting.
Running drills.
Yeah. I mean, like, it wasn't even like a 5-on-5. It was just like a few guys kind of like, goofing around half-court style.
2-on-2,
But he was on a court and moving.
Yeah, coming
so
off
between
picks.
that and these words from Lonzo, what are we feeling?
I felt a little excitement.
A little bit?
Yeah. Just for, you know what? And I'm not going to say I felt excitement for, oh man, he's for my team.
Right. As a Bulls fan,
yeah,
you're
it wasn't
saying you're
that
not
excitement.
Okay.
It was excitement of, oh yes, he's up and he's moving around and he's doing things and he's actually, when he says he's this, he's showing you that I am this. I am 70%. I told you I'm gonna be back doing things. He's back doing things because again, it's been a while since we've seen him do anything like that.
While.
And it wasn't, and people weren't wrong to question would he be able to even do that again ever in life. So the fact that I'm seeing him do that, I'm like, oh, this is a great step. I'm very happy for him. I'm excited to see the next step. I will get ramped up in the fandom when I see him actually doing it during Bulls practice, 5-on-5 full contact. Then you'll see that, oh, yes, thank you. Finally, he's back. Let's play ball and things like that. But this is a good step for him just as Lonzo Ball.
Yeah, totally agree. And, we got a chance to see him at practice at one point towards the end of the season, shooting around. Obviously, like, he's mobile.
Yeah.
But there's a big difference between, like, being able to shoot around in an empty gym versus, like, actually play basketball games, let alone 82 basketball games.
Correct.
Factoring in back-to-backs, factoring in the grind of a season. So, yeah, I don't think – like, I just don't want to – I'm not going to say, like, Lonzo can't come back and play, but I just think, like, the idea of him going from 3 knee surgeries, not having played for 2.5 years to now coming back and playing. I mean, he played 35 games in the year that he was healthy.
Yeah.
He averages, like, 55 games per year for his career. So factoring him into the equation as, like, somebody who's going to, like, really come back and provide you impact and production, I think is just not wise. Like, maybe it happens, but that's not the way I'd be preparing for this.
Can you repeat that real quick? How many games does he play?
I think like 55 per year, like before he was ever hurt.
I want people to hear that.
I can go look that up while I'm talking because I don't want to be spewing fake news here. But
right.
And yeah, 35 games in the year before, out of like the 60 that were before he got hurt. So 55 games in 2020-21, 63 the year before that, 47, 52. So this is just not a guy who you can like factor in for 80 or 70 games a year. And that's even like when things are going well.
Yes,
and we just don't know how or if this is going to be something that he's able to come back from. Obviously, we're all hoping for his sake that he can, but like he hasn't even, we don't even know that he said he could play. I don't really know what that meant, but like the team has not cleared him for full 5-on-5 contact.
Right.
His dad, LeVar, went on to 670, I think,
Never
a couple months ago and was saying like towards the end of August. So there's a chance that he comes back, but the other consideration here is how this factors into the Bulls cap sheet.
Yes.
And like insurance is paying, I think like 80% or maybe 90% of his contract right now. If he starts playing games, insurance payments stop. So I don't think the Bulls are going to be in any rush to get him back on the court until they know for a fact that he's ready to contribute, because they don't want him coming in, playing 5 minutes, and then sitting for 3 games just to play 5 minutes again, because then that's a huge amount of money that they're basically losing out on from insurance.
Yeah, very true. I wanted you to say that again because I needed people just to understand that. You know what I mean? Like you say, even when he's here on the floor, he contributes, you know what I mean? But it's not someone you can just truly depend on. You need to play 65 just to be in the awards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So whatever award you might think he should get, it's not going to happen. It was one of my knocks, Matt, on Wendell that I used to say all the time, that he never really played 50 games. He's played 60 games once, and that was his first year in Orlando. So, yeah, I don't want people placing the whole heap of Bulls hope on a back and some shaky knees like that even when his knees weren't the shakiest, it still was 55 games that he would get you.
And I think the Bulls are even past that point too.
Great.
Where, like, I think for the first year or so, they were like, yeah, I think maybe we can get Lonzo back. We can get this thing back on track. And now I think they're probably at the realization of like, yeah, maybe he can come back and be, and play. But like, I don't think we can kind of count on him anymore. And in a lot of ways, like this team has kind of moved on around him, not necessarily with the roster, but like Ayo's been huge, and that's a product of Lonzo not being there. Kobe's been huge, and that's a product of Lonzo and Zach not being there. And so
those are 2 young guards on very team-friendly contracts for 2 more seasons, as opposed to someone who hasn't played in 2 years and has been basically just dead cap for the team for 3 seasons.
Right. And the other piece of this is, this idea that the Bulls are going to be able to wipe him off the books with this like medical retirement clause that allows you to, if this like, third party panel of doctors says that he can no longer play, that the Bulls could wipe that $21 million of money off their books, because he's still trying to make this comeback. And because he's saying like, I'm not going to retire, basically like, he has to be on board with that in order for the Bulls to be able to do that. Otherwise teams would just say, you're retired.
He has to be in agreement with the doctors who say your career is over.
He has to retire. That is part of the process. And so
his podcast the other day did not sound like someone who was ready to retire.
Exactly. And so that takes us back to you either let this year go through and then he's off the books next year, or you waive and stretch him and you get $7.1 million on your cap for the next 3 seasons. So those are their 2 options right now. And obviously that factors into the decision with DeRozan, with Patrick, with Zach, and how do those things all play out. And we've talked plenty about that. But, I think it was just important to kind of recognize that, like, because Lonzo is still trying to make this comeback, the idea that they can wipe him off the books, I think just does not work.
Yeah, no, I think the only option that they have, if the Bulls front office have decided, regardless of what happens between now and October, when the 24-25 season is about to get underway with Lonzo's rehab and recovery, if they've decided that they don't want to take that risk of banking on Lonzo to be useful to them in any way next season in the final year of his deal, the only option they have is to waive and stretch him. And then pay him only $7 million as opposed to 21 and change this season, but then also pay him $7 million the 2 seasons following that.
And I'm not sure about this. I can try to dig it up, but I'm not sure that the insurance will continue to pay if Lonzo has been waived and stretched. So in other words, I think it probably benefits the organization itself from ownership's perspective to keep him on the books this year and let him expire. Now, other teams could be interested in that as an asset, like a team who wants to isn't necessarily worried about the luxury tax, but wants to lower their actual payroll, you're getting reimbursed for a chunk of what Lonzo's making, a good chunk of it. So maybe that becomes an asset as an expiring contract to another team, and they can leverage that maybe in addition to another salary to try to get something back. Maybe you attach a pick to that and you're able to get a decent player back. That's kind of one of the options the Bulls have here. But I just don't think they're going to have as much kind of maneuverability with this contract as we maybe thought before when we're talking about, well, what happens if they can't trade Zach and they still want to bring back DeMar? Oh, just wipe Lonzo's contract off the books. It's not.
Yeah, no, that simple solution for the Bulls running it back and somehow staying under the tax this upcoming season. Clearing Lonzo's money does not seem like a feasible option to get there under that tax line. Julia in the comments saying Lonzo's not ready to retire, but his knees are.
Yo, Julia is on.
Julia's cooking.
She is cooking.
Drew is saying, how about a trade to Charlotte to reunite Lonzo with Melo? They did. One of them or both of them said recently on some interview, we really want to play together.
And
okay, first things first, they both need to be healthy.
That's step one.
That was exactly what I was thinking when I said maybe the Bulls are able to leverage this. A team like the Hornets, they could try to use this opportunity as a way to keep LaMelo engaged in the Hornets and not kind of start to force his way out because he may not want to be there longer term. And if he's got his brother there, then maybe that's a little bit more exciting to him. So maybe that's an option. But also at that point, maybe you just wait until next year when he's completely a free agent. His money's off the Bulls' books, and now you can sign him for a vet minimum.
Yeah, indeed. Jeremy, is it just me, but it feels like the Bulls will never be good again? It's not just you, Jeremy. The good news is we're all going to die someday. What's up,
Jerry? Good for Jerry, not waving, stretching him, saving that insurance money.
Why?
Good for him.
Why are you doing this, Joe?
Because he's being a smart business. Smart business.
It's fine. It's fine. It's not bothering me.
He's squeezing every penny out of it that we can.
I gotta sit here.
Shout out to our friends at 670 The Score. Did you guys see that graphic that they posted earlier today?
Tell me about it.
Oh my goodness. So it was hey, look how bright things are looking for Chicago. Okay, a new era. Chicago sports is in good hands with their next batch of stars making the come up. And it's, like a graphic with Chicago skyline in the background. We got Caleb Williams front and center.
Of course.
We got Morrell, we got Angel Reese, we got Bedard and Adunze flanking them. 5 young, up-and-coming Chicago star athletes. Not a single person from the White Sox or Bulls made the cut. Despite the fact that this, 670 The Score are partners with at least one of those teams.
Yes.
Good for you, 670 The Score. Way to throw that shade at Jerry Reinsdorf.
That is definitely petty.
You don't qualify? You know what? I saw some Bulls fans be like, our guy Kobe White got snubbed in this graphic. No, he didn't. I like Kobe. I borderline might love Kobe. I love the season he just had. He saved my mental health, but no, he is not in that group of exciting young stars that Chicago sports fans can be excited about. No.
I can't be excited about
Good for dragging Jerry for both of these dysfunctional, irrelevant organizations.
Dalen Terry couldn't crack that graphic?
Right.
He did not.
And shout out to Matt wearing the Sub-Zero t-shirt while he's saying these things, which you can also pick up at the All CHGO locker room, ladies and gents. Look at that. Looking smooth and awesome right there. Look at this specialness. Get you one of those and be just as cool as Matt Peck.
Not a hard test. All right, let's take our first break.
Take the easy route, kids.
Gotta get yourself a pair of Birks first.
There you go.
Let's take our first break, then we'll come back and dive into some fun hypothetical Cavs-Bulls trade talk, as the Cavs just got eliminated last night. While we are doing that, you know what to do. Hit that like button if you're watching on YouTube, maybe catching the replay on YouTube. Make sure you also subscribe to our CHGO Sports YouTube channel. 55,500 and counting.
Ooh, beautiful.
Hey-oh. Big Dave, who's first today?
Well, shout out to the 100 people in chat, but we only have 17 likes. We're going to need those likes to get on up there.
Likes up. Come on.
You're watching. Just hit that like button,
Baby
man.
Joe.
Do it for Baby Joe.
Do it for Troll Joe.
And do it for the people on the beach. Because, hey there, beach babe, stop in the morning to ya. How's it going? Are you ready to soak up the summer vibes and unveil the ultimate beach bod? I'm not even doing this on purpose. That's just how it comes out, like for real. Well, you're in luck.
It's just turned into a nervous tick.
Yes, that's just what it is, man. I don't fight it, baby. I just throw it out there. I don't fight it. See what happens. Throw it against the wall, see if it sticks. Our friends over at Manscaped have you covered from head to toe.
Everybody has cleared out of the office.
With the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, this will bring them back like the Pied Piper. This ultimate all-in-one grooming kit is set to have you looking and feeling your best in the summer sun. Trust Manscaped and unlock the confidence you need to turn heads this season, like Joey Spathis with a new haircut. Join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped.com for 20% off of free shipping, Lord of mercy. And use the code BULLS, BULLS. Let's make the summer one of your smoothest yet. Embrace, I made Mario laugh, so I did something right. Embrace your summer vibe goals. It's actually no, it's Irish. But it comes out Jamaican for some reason.
It's like Jamirish. Now with a hint of Mario somehow.
Yeah. So hint of Mario and all of us, ladies and gentlemen. That's how we roll. Embrace your summer vibe. Goals with our all-inclusive Performance Package 9.0. Perfect for those aiming for that crisp, clean, will-to-go Gottlieb look. Cool and confident. The updated Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra Groin and Body Hair Trimmer got a summer makeover. It's now waterproof and designed for splashy pool parties and beach hangouts. Do not do that in a pool party, please, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and keep your ears and nose tidy as your hedges next door with their Weed Whacker 2.0 ears and nose hair trimmer. Pesky hairs, be gone. Get 20% off free shipping. Like I said, with that code BULLS at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code BULLS, BULLS at manscaped.com. The summer sun is here to stay, so trust Manscaped to keep the cubes at bay.
CGRT's in the comments saying the Celtic roster. Lars saying there was this Jamaican Rumpelstiltskin from one episode of this kid show I used to watch. This reminds me of that. Fish, don't worry, be Irish.
I like Irish Marley.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Y'all enjoy, y'all like it, I love it. It's all good.
No woman, no potatoes. Oh my God, what are we doing?
So many things.
Today's show is also brought to you by Prize Picks, the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. They're the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS because it's just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, Celtic Rastas, you just pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 different player stat projections for the game that you're stoked to watch that day and watch the winnings roll in. Shout out to everybody who took advantage of that Caitlin Clark free square because she did score more than 0.5 points in her WNBA debut.
What?
Slow start, but then she finished strong.
I'm shocked.
Finished strong. Also, shout out to the Sky. Couldn't quite get the W against Dallas, but played well in the first half or so, and then just kind of let go of the rope a little bit.
Yeah, fourth quarter let go, yeah.
But, hey, there's always more, and you can make some fun picks and squares on Prize Picks the next time you're gearing up to watch a Sky game or if you're going to watch some of these NBA playoff games up on deck. Potential closeout game for the defending champion Nugs tonight, 7:30 Central. Make yourself some Prize Picks for that one. Download that Prize Picks app today. Use promo code CHGO for a first-time deposit match up to $100. That's code CHGO for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
Boom. In your face.
In your face. Bow. All right, guys, let's talk about these Cleveland Cavaliers and this crazy column that got dropped at The Athletic after their
it's like a euphoria.
After their demise in the conference semis at the hands of the Boston Celtics last night. Just a little, I mean, as I mentioned, there was all kinds of crazy stuff in this column, but let's touch on this because I think it is the most important part when you're talking about Bulls maybe getting involved here.
Okay.
There are, if you will, Joe, there are questions of fit on the roster to work through, such as whether Allen and Mobley, two non-shooting bigs, can coexist in the same starting unit, and whether Garland can thrive playing alongside Mitchell as two smaller guards who both need the ball. Furthermore, rival execs believe the Cavs will have to seriously evaluate the fit of Mitchell and Garland and ultimately may have to choose one or the other. should Mitchell decide to stay long-term. Sources briefed on the matter say Garland's representation, a.k.a. Clutch Sports and Rich Paul, would have a conversation with the Cavs officials on potentially finding a new home for the one-time All-Star. This is really juicy. Like, when we talk about a lot of moving and shaking that could happen in the NBA offseason, everything that we're hearing out of Cleveland is this team, even though they went from being a first-round elimination last year to making the conference semis this year, they are making some changes. It's just a matter of which direction they're going.
No, it's funny. When they got Donovan Mitchell, I think we all kind of felt like this day was coming for them because we knew they would. When you get Donovan Mitchell, you're trying to make a run at a championship, and you know your window is very small because Donovan's not going to sign a long-term deal. So if he's going to come there, you got a couple years. Can you get to a title in a couple years? I don't think anybody thought they could, and they obviously didn't. But I feel like...
But I also think, like, can you get, maybe not title, but, like, can you get to a conference finals and now start to, all right, Donovan, we got Mobley, we got Allen, we got Garland, we've gotten to a conference final. Can we now reshift around this group or parts of this group to keep going with you? Have we earned your trust in that way? And it seems like to this point, no.
Yeah, and it never felt like it was going to make that move. He was focused. The haircut just got him different. Like he's
that
different
one's
now.
on me.
The weight loss and the haircut, he just...
You know what? I'll take it. That's a loaf.
Ozempic.
I was like, why am I still on single cam right now?
That's a loaf.
He's focused, man.
Gobi Spathis.
But I think I never thought that they would make a deep run like that. I never believed that in the 2 years they were going to get to an Eastern Conference Finals. I didn't see it that way for them. So I thought that this day was coming. I just was like, this isn't going to end well. And nothing against their coach. He didn't seem like the coach that was going to take them that kind of far. You know what I mean? And he can coach. He can do his thing. He can get you there, but he just didn't seem like the one to get you over.
Colin mentioned that a lot of the players had various issues with how Bickerstaff was running things.
Yeah, so I'm not surprised to hear that, any of this.
I'm kind of surprised.
I'm not. And I was waiting for this storm to happen. So now I'm like, what is going to be the result of this storm? Is Donovan Mitchell going to be just like, I hate everybody and leave, which what it seems like? Garland not happy?
That part's not surprising. Mitchell trying to force his way out, I don't think is surprising to anyone who has paid attention to what he has done for his last couple years of his career.
Exactly.
But Garland falling off a cliff, I think they had pretty high hopes for what that duo could be. I mean the Mobley
he's
piece,
ball dominant.
They signed him
of
to
it
a
is
max
very
rookie
weird.
extension that was like close to $200 million.
They did, but he's too ball dominant for him and Donovan Mitchell to work. And he's not a healthy, guard all the time, man. He has to have the team built around him. You know what I'm saying? For him to be good, and for him to exhaust all his greatness that's in him, I should say it like that. And you're not better than Donovan Mitchell, so I have to build it around him. And they both have to have the basketball. This is why Donovan Mitchell was the one bringing the ball up a lot on that team, man. So he can't be the point guard that he is. We saw him in that last game without Donovan Mitchell about what it looked like, for Darius Garland. I don't think he has that mental makeup yet, you know what I mean, to carry a team. You know what I'm saying? But he will because he's really, really good. But I'm not really surprised. I'm just not, Will. I'm not really surprised.
Yeah, and, Garland, broke his jaw at one point in the season and then, had to have his mouth wired shut and lost a ton of weight and just didn't really seem like he was ever back on his best play. And so I don't think this was, the full representation of who he is as a player. But regardless, they're at kind of this breaking point with the team where they have to decide what direction to go next. And it's just kind of interesting to think about this in relation to the Bulls, who obviously made the play-in last year, lost, and were like, we got this, we're good. And they made the play-in again this year. And although they said change is coming, you're talking about giving DeRozan $40 million. You're not really sure if Zach's going to have a new home. Is there going to be change here compared to a team that made actual progress over last year, advanced to the second round of the playoffs, and still
it's not good enough.
This was not good enough, and now we're going to make sweeping changes.
That's attractive.
Yeah, but I think it's kind of this, I think it has its downsides in some way because it's hard to I do think there's something to be said for continuity in the sense that you have a foundation that you can keep growing with, but there's a difference between continuity and building up the same core versus leaving everything the same and not making any attempts to get yourself better.
Sure.
And obviously that's the distinction that left the Bulls where they are. So I just think it's interesting that they probably are going to have to make a decision here. Even though they're kind of talking about giving Donovan that extension and keeping him and building around him, and maybe that pushes Garland out. Like, that may not be what Donovan wants, and he's got a player option next year.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to pick it up.
So in
Maybe
2 seasons. He's still under team control next season.
That's right.
And then in the 25-26 season is when Mitchell has that player option. So that's why there's all this talk of at some point between this upcoming offseason and this next 24-25 season, the Cavs trading Mitchell to get something for him instead of losing him for nothing, if they can't convince him to sign a new deal. You're shaking your head. Like, do you agree, Will? Do you think that they can't convince Mitchell in any way to sign a new multi-year deal and throw a whole bunch of money at him to stay in Cleveland?
I think they might try, and I think in order to do that, you're going to have to get a really good wing for Darius Garland, because I think this idea of having 2 small guards and 2 bigs, it's just a really unbalanced floor. Like, they were better when they had Strus and Sam Merrill and Dean Wade out there alongside Donovan and Jared Allen.
Sure.
Because you have a ton of space, you have a ton of movement, you're shooting a ton of threes. So I think that's probably what they're going to try to do first. And, you can kind of like look at the different reports from Woj versus Shams and hear the way that they're talking about the different clients and tell who is giving who information.
Correct.
And it's pretty obvious to me that, like, Clutch is kind of operating with the same playbook they had with Zach LaVine.
Yep.
Where, all right, this isn't working for you guys, and now you're going to choose between, like, my guy and this other backcourt guy. Well, maybe we're just going to have to ask out and try to find a new home ourselves. So that sounds very similar to what Clutch fed to Shams and Sam Amick in the Zach LaVine report, and it seems like that's kind of the direction they're going. So that would be my guess. And again, whether that matters or not, who knows? Because Donovan still might not want to stay long-term in Cleveland anyway. And so is there too much risk associated with trading Garland for a wing now just to see Donovan move anyway in this next summer?
Exactly.
So, I mean, when you look at trying to maneuver your way to seeing Zach LaVine and getting him moved, somehow using the Cavs and needing to move one of these guys. So Mitchell is under team control for $35.5 million next season, that 37-player option that everyone expects him to decline. Garland, meanwhile, here are his remaining 4 years on his contract, no player option.
Okay.
36.7, 39.4, 42.1, 44.9. LaVine, meanwhile, for those Bulls fans who forgot, remaining 3 years, the third and final, being a player option, 43, 46, 49. So is there some way that you can find LaVine a new home using one of these Mitchell or Garland contracts?
I think that is the big question here for the Bulls, who, there's been some rumors about this. Like, for me, like, I think Garland is a better fit alongside Mitchell than LaVine, I think Garland is a better fit alongside LaVine than Mitchell is, just because I think Zach can be a little bit more off ball than Donovan.
He can be more ball dominant, which is what Zach kind of needs, right?
Exactly. So I think he could play alongside either of those guys. But yeah, if there's other teams that are going to be more interested in Donovan, that's going to hold off the Zach sweepstakes. So unless the Bulls can get into a 3-team deal with Cleveland, where they maybe get LaVine, Cleveland gets LaVine, a third team gets Donovan, and the Bulls get whatever else coming back from that third team, I think that could make some sense, whether it's Brooklyn, who's obviously been pushing for him pretty hard, but is that going to be a place where Donovan wants to go? He's been so adamant about your legacy is defined by winning championships, getting to the finals, and getting in the conference finals. I'm not doing this first round stuff. I'm not doing this second round stuff. Like, that's not good enough for me. And is Brooklyn a team that can offer him that? I'm not sure. You have the Lakers, who Brian Windhorst said were interested. And then you have Brandon Ingram, who could also be kind of on the move, and maybe the Pelicans are
there were a few teams that some report threw out today as far as teams that might be in on Ingram, right? I can't remember who they were.
I can't remember either, but then Miami is obviously the dark horse that's always going to be seeking the next star available, and Donovan, Jimmy, Bam would be pretty nice core. So maybe they flip, like, in a 3-team deal, could you get Tyler Hero and somebody else back?
Also, but like, okay, the Lakers. I keep hearing, the Lakers, Mitchell, they're talking, they want, What the hell do the Lakers have left to trade to get Donovan Mitchell?
Part of what's interesting here is that because Donovan has just one more year of guaranteed money, and then he's going to pick up or decline the player option, he has a lot of power over where he can show up, because like if Brooklyn's gonna, unload the clip and give Cleveland all the picks in the world, and he says, I'm not staying around here, then Brooklyn's not going to do that. So if he says Lakers, Heat, make me the best offer possible.
Yeah, show it to me. I think the other thing that can keep that works in the Cleveland's favor is we're in the East. And look around at, the teams that are battling right now for a conference finals. It's the Pacers and it's the Knicks. Mm-hmm. I think that they can look and say, Donovan, we can be better than those teams. We can be better than those teams to get there and compete against a team like Boston, or if Miami reads up, we can compete against a team like that. So I think the conference that he in, they could kind of use that as a little bit of leverage, correct?
Yeah, I think there's one other factor here that Cleveland has to consider, which is the draft pick situation. I know we've got to get into an ad break, so we can maybe talk about that in the other end.
We can pick that up on the other side. And Ant brought up something similar in the comments about Clutch and Garland, saying, I don't see Clutch moving Garland to a loaded Western Conference.
That one I was on, okay.
With Ja coming back, other young talent, it's best to keep him in the East. It's funny that sort of talking point comes up a lot as far as like young stars and where they want to play. And like, hey, well, you got an easier path to the finals if you play in the East. Like, yeah, the Celtics close out the Cavs in 5, but have you watched the Celtics play in these playoff games?
Good God.
What did you say in our text the other last night? Like, it's like clockwork when you see the Celtics playing down to their opponents.
You can set your watch to it.
Yeah.
You know it's going to happen.
I honestly, I don't know who is coming out of the West. I still think it's going to be Denver.
I got Denver.
Probably.
I've been sticking with Denver all along. If the Celtics do get past the Knicks or the Pacers, I'm not picking the Celtics.
You're not going to pick the Celtics?
No.
Really?
No, I'm sorry. This Tatum Brown Celtics team has never proven to, be serious enough to win.
So you're going to take the Knicks or the Pacers to go to the finals?
Honestly, I might. I probably will still end up taking Boston. They'll probably use more games than they should have to get there.
I agree with that. It'll be an unnecessary series, yes.
Yeah.
But they'll still win.
All right, we got to take our break. Then we can come back and pick up on that GOAT thought about this Cavs situation and how the Bulls might get involved. Hit the like button now if you didn't do it the first time. And then after you do that, get yourself some fresh, icy cold Coors Lights delivered straight to your door. Between work, social media, worrying about the Bears schedule release, all the things that life throw our way, it's no wonder sometimes we can get a little bit worked up.
A little bit.
Maybe you're worried about which cameras are on and who's pointing, which camera's pointed at who. It's okay, though, because Coors Light celebrates rising above those hectic, stressful moments in our lives and choosing to have a chill mindset. Why not turn a rained-out barbecue into a karaoke house party? We all know that GOAT would bring the house down.
Oh, my God.
Or, after a tough loss, settle the scores with an icy cold peace offering in the shape of a cold Coors Light. Peace. Make the choice to choose chill. Mm-hmm. And then once you've made that choice for yourself, reach for a Coors Light.
Smart.
Because it's mountain cold refreshment that absolutely goes hand in hand with choosing a chill mindset.
Nice.
When the mountains turn blue, can, bottle, Coors Light cup, doesn't matter. Either way, you know it's as cold as the Rockies and ready to drink. Coors Light is cold lager, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. When you embrace a chill mindset, it's a good time to reach for that cold Coors Light. You can get it, as I said, delivered straight to your door by going to Instacart. Go to CoorsLight.com/CHGO basketball and have Instacart deliver these icy cold, ready-to-drink mountain refreshments delivered straight to you. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Good. And when you're sipping that and enjoying it like young Matt Peck is doing, get you a nice pie. Pizza pie. That's what you want. Give it to you.
Pizza
in your
pie.
face. Hook it up.
You
can do it at Salerno's Pizza, y'all. Salerno's on tap, which is located at 1201 West Grand Avenue in Chicago's West Town. You can go there and enjoy that tavern-style pizza and some of those frosty, ice-cold Coors. Delicious stuff. Now, whether you're headed to the game or you want to watch it live or you want to pick it up and take it back home, or you want to stay there and watch it on the big screen, they got you covered anyway, baby. Going and coming, they got you covered in sauce and cheese and deliciousness. So go to Salerno'sPizza.com, or you can give them a call, 312-666-3444, 312-666-3444. make sure you mention CHGO. Why do I do that, Big Dave? Because you will get half off your pizza. Half off of that pizza. Yes. I love a deal. I mean, when this deal first came out, the GOAT said, what? Yes, I'm going to Salerno's and getting me some pizza because it's half off. 50%. What? Salerno's on tap. Get you some.
Get you some.
Shout out. Real quick shout out to Lars.
I was just about to get there.
All right, you take it.
Just about to get there, baby.
You take it.
Shout out to Lars, who said, my family and I had some Coors Lights last weekend to celebrate my college graduation.
Hey,
shout out, Lars. Way to increase your brain power, buddy.
And then kill some brain
Also,
cells.
speaking of celebrating and congratulating college graduates, shout out to Emma, our social media intern hero, who just got her degree from Loyola last week.
And also, speaking of that, not shout out to Harrison Butker.
Oh, no, he sucks. He sucks.
And staying on collegiate athletics real quick, shout out to Quinn Ewers for landing on the cover of EA Sports NCAA 25.
Shout out.
Hey.
Pretty cool.
I was going to ask you who that was because I had no idea.
Quinn Ewers.
Hook 'em.
Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter and Donovan Edwards.
Yes.
From Michigan. Yeah. But Quinn...
Quinn can't wait.
Quinn cracks the cover, baby. Hook 'em horns.
Hook 'em horns. Also, before we dive back into Cavs Bulls Trade Talk, saw a super chat from our pal Eli. Appreciate you, buddy. Saying, hey, I'm debating coming to Chicago. Wanted to know if I should come. My dad lives in Chicago. Haven't seen him in a year. I don't know how safe it is at this point. Eli, Chicago is safe. Come hang out. Visit your father. Come hang out with us.
Yeah.
Swing by the studio. We'll be happy to see you, hang out, show you a good time.
Yeah.
Chicago is safe.
Let Joey cut your hair.
The only thing that's dangerous about the city of Chicago is Joey's unwieldy hair.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, maybe bring some sort of like thumb guards or something.
Thumb guards.
Yes.
Thumb guards.
Thumb guards, man.
Roll
Bear
Joey
spray.
roaming the city.
You're going to need it. And if you don't, you got to pay the toll, man.
Yeah.
You got to pay the toll. You
You
know where I was going, Joe.
Has anybody told Angel Reese yet to stop calling it Chirac? Has she been informed?
Yes, she's been informed.
Okay, good.
She's good.
Okay, back to Cavs. Go. What were we saying before we took that ad break?
Well, I was just going to say, like, this is not maybe a situation like some other teams who, if they're selling on their star player, are going to want a ton of assets back.
Right.
Because the Cavaliers, if you'll recall, sold everything to go get Donovan Mitchell in the first place.
Boy, howdy did they.
They still owe their pick in 2025 to the Utah Jazz unprotected. They have a swap in 26. They owe their 27 pick. They have a swap in 28, and they owe their 29 pick to Utah still. So this is not a team that's going to want to like bottom out now.
Correct.
And I think like that could make Zach in some ways appealing to them because he at least helps them maintain a certain level of play. And, you know, money is going to become an issue for the Cavs, but at least they're like willing to spend into the tax if they need to. So I do think Zach could be an option there. I just don't think he's going to be the first option.
Let me ask you just kind of two questions. One, with that big contract they gave to Garland and everything you just mentioned that they gave up for Mitchell, what do you feel that franchise kind of values more? And the other question was, who do you feel fits better with Evan Mobley?
And between who?
Between Garland and Mitchell.
I mean, Mitchell's just a much better player right now, so probably him. I think that's probably their priority is keeping him because he's the better player. But I think they're also not going to be like foolish and think like we can create something great around Mitchell that he's going to want to stay for 5 more years. I think that's the hope and the idea at this point, but I don't think they're necessarily, you know, fooling themselves into believing that they have a great chance to keep him. So would I be surprised if they trade Garland to try to get a wing back and continue to build around Donovan? No, but would I be surprised if they ended up moving to Donovan to wherever he wants to go because they recognize that that's their best chance to, one, capitalize on a return, but two, like it kind of secures their future with the group that they have. I think that would be my guess, but I do think that they'll try to prioritize Donovan just because he's the much better player at this point.
Okay. Does he want to stay?
Where do you guys stand on Mobley real quick? Because I do think that, I mean, 2 years ago when they made that trade, I feel like all of us would have expected him to be maybe a little further along in his development than he is now.
Evan Mobley?
Yeah.
I mean, I think he was a very hot name. People were talking about him as a
Scorching.
defensive player of the year kind of guy.
Slurping.
And then also he showed a couple of flashes of what he could do on the offensive end, and people were really excited.
Yeah.
I think basically, and I think they even mentioned it in that athletic column, some people within the Cavs organization have been a bit frustrated by the fact that Mobley's offensive game has not developed to the point where they want it to be. Hello, Patrick Williams. So, I mean, like, look, do I still love Evan Mobley and his potential? Yeah. I would like for Evan Mobley to find his way to Chicago. I don't think it's likely. But... And that's why, like, when I was reading that article on this Garland and you know, Mitchell and who's going to go, but then also Mobley and Allen being brought up as well, I was like, those are two bigs that I've really liked.
Yes, for a long time.
For a while.
Yeah.
How do we get one of them?
Yeah, correct.
Feels like Mobley has to either develop a more consistent outside shot or he's got to play the 5.
Yeah, I think that's
just such a weird combination.
It's exactly the predicament that they're in. And Jarrett Allen has been so good that you can't put him on the bench.
He's an all-star. Right.
He is just so dominant in the short roll. He's really good just in the post. He's good as a passer. He's just really good. But Mobley's not a good shooter. He is kind of a good roll man. He can catch lobs. He's a very good passer for a 5. But a lot of that stuff is marginalized when there's another big clogging up the paint.
Yeah.
And so I think ultimately what they would probably do is, like, in a couple of years start to build towards Mobley at the 5. But again, this could hurry up that situation to where now you're moving Jarrett Allen to try to help find that wing too. But small for a wing or big for a wing is a tough trade to make because everybody's looking for wings.
Yeah. And also like they're not happy with Allen. They mentioned that in those articles as well. Weren't happy that he wouldn't do everything he could to get back on the floor, in their opinion.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
I think that he made the right decision.
Yeah.
Like, you choose what's right to go in your body, bro. Like, you have to live with that, not them. You're the ones who've got to walk around if it doesn't work for you, I'm saying.
Right.
And you're the one who has to walk around and live with it for the rest of your days, you know? They just want you to do it so you can get back on the floor and, you know, give the team what they need because you're an all-star and they need you. We understand that. But at the end of the day, you have to live with that, man.
1000% agree. Like, it was pretty surprising to me that was even in the article. Like, these guys were trying to pressure him into playing while he's clearly hurt and like you don't want to. I don't know. That was kind of weird.
People in the comments asking, you know, like, what's wrong with Jarrett Allen? I mean, I just pulled up Jarrett Allen's career games played. Dude's been pretty resilient.
Yeah,
for a big that, you know,
much so.
Bigs take beatings in the NBA. I mean, his first few years with the Brooklyn, 72, 80, 70, and then the season where he got traded midseason for Brooklyn to Cleveland, he played 63. Did only manage 56 games in the 21-22 season, but made the All-Star team that season because he put up monster numbers. And then the past 2 seasons, 68, 77. The dude plays.
That's what you want from a
dude
center.
Plays.
Yeah. Those are amazing numbers for a center. But like you said, the physical toll and the way that he plays, you know, the aggression that he plays with the shot blocking, the rebounding, those things like that, and to play that amount of games.
And then it has seemed that he's been banged up for the Cavs' postseason runs each of the last 2 seasons.
That is true. That is true. That is
not ideal.
True.
But also, you know who else has been banged up in these NBA playoffs?
Who's that, man?
Freaking everybody.
Correct.
Freaking everybody.
Everybody gets hurt.
Everybody gets hurt at this time of the season. Yep. Everybody's banged up. Everybody's tired.
Yep.
Injuries everywhere.
Yep.
Okay. And you know what? I'm little mini 20-second soapbox.
Oh, here we go.
One of the things that I am an old meathead about, and I saw...
He's wearing a bacon hat.
I saw Cal yell about this on Twitter the other day. For all of the yelling that people do about, oh, you're playing these guys too many minutes. You're playing too many minutes. That's why they get hurt. Load management and giving guys nights off and worrying about minutes and minutes restrictions is at the height that it's ever been in professional basketball, and more players are getting hurt. So shut the frick up about minutes played. Shut up. They're professional athletes getting paid tens of millions of dollars. Go play. Shut up about minutes, Fred.
Oh, that wasn't a rant. That was personal.
He's the poster boy for, minutes. Tibbs played a guy too many minutes. Tibbs ruined Derek's career. I cannot with that shit.
Keep going.
What were we talking about?
No, keep going. I like
I said 20 seconds.
You did say 20. You know, Extra 5. But it's
I think the thing with minutes is more like when you are so thin that you have to rely on your 35-year-old because you have nobody else to play.
Correct.
So now all of a sudden he leads the league in minutes
Correct.
every year. I think that's the bigger thing.
Yeah.
Playoffs, Josh Hart's going to play 48 minutes.
Yeah.
When you're missing Julius Randle
It's the
and
playoffs.
Bojan Bogdanovic and Mitchell Robinson, like you got to play guys.
It's the playoffs. Think Chris Finch is worried about minutes tonight for the Wolves down 3-2?
Oh, no, everybody's playing.
Okay, so any other teams that come to mind for either of you, if you're talking about, hey, maybe there's not a truly feasible way for the Bulls and Cavs to make a 2-team trade this summer when the Cavs decide we're either trading Mitchell or we're trading Garland. The Bulls to be a third team to help facilitate the Cavs to move one of those guys elsewhere. And in doing so, find a new home for Zach LaVine. Because I feel like that might be a more fruitful route. I mean, would you agree?
You mean like
3-team trade, basically.
Yeah, I think that's probably just like how it's going to have to be because I just don't think Zach's going to be the primary target for a lot of these guys. And for the Bulls to get in on one of these deals, they're just probably not going to be able to get a lot back. And that's the issue that's kind of held this whole thing up is like now we're at the point where are the Bulls going to have to attach something to Zach to move him? And is that even like something that the Bulls will entertain?
Yeah.
If not, then you have to be willing to either sell at the lowest point and maybe just not get much back for him, but at least it's better than having to attach something. Or you got to hang on to him. But you can't do him and DeMar again because, one, it doesn't work on the basketball court, but two, it's going to put you $20 million into the luxury.
Doesn't work on the cap sheet.
So
That's
like
a decision.
If the Bulls found a great home for Zach that also netted them a good return, the deal would already be done.
Yeah, seriously. Be out of there.
And DeMar's contract would already be extended. The reason he hasn't signed is because the Bulls can't sign him because they would be so deep into the luxury tax that they're just not going to do that. All this stuff is being held up by Zach, and it's really a question of like, is anybody in the league going to bite? And if not, then what?
Do you expect it to be, I shouldn't even say done, but progressing and moving forward as far as things that we're hearing the closer we get to the draft?
A Zach trade?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, but like, okay, let's think about the teams who might be interested. Detroit was one that we heard. They don't even have a president of basketball operations right now.
They do not.
They're not trading for Zach. And
Waiting on that Denver series, yeah.
Yeah, maybe that happens and then we revisit it. But like, is Zach a Tim Conley guy? I don't know. Probably not.
Probably not.
Okay, so the Pistons probably are less interested now than they were at the deadline. The Magic, well, they've been linked to Brandon Ingram. They've been linked to Paul George.
Yeah.
They've been linked to Trae Young. Like, I just don't see Zach as being – I think he'd be a fine fit there. I think he looks good.
Philly has a much longer list before they get to Zach's name.
Suggs, but yeah, it doesn't – Philly, the Lakers,
Heat.
the Heat, like, they're going to want Donovan. So, like, who is taking Zach off the Bulls' hands and also giving up a lot of assets to do so that
Rockets.
That the Bulls are going to be able to do this before the draft to where they can extend DeMar and, you know, start to reconstruct their roster. I think Zach is really holding things up, and I don't know how. I feel like a DeMar extension at the reported number. I mean, DeMar's not getting $80 million from any other team over the next 2 years. Probably not even the next 3. Like, is DeMar signing a 3 for 80 deal anywhere in free agency? No. So for 2 years, he would probably take that from the Bulls if that was a hard offer because nobody else is touching that. And you get to stay in Chicago, and you get to be the man.
I saw you quote tweeted a different clip of that interview DeMar did recently where he said, hey, love Chicago, love the organization, you know, want to come back, where he said, I would also entertain the idea of going and playing with the Lakers, which is what he wanted to do 3 years ago.
Yeah, he's not shy about hiding that fact.
And they said, and
Or
LeBron
not.
said, let me get Russell Westbrook instead. Hilarious.
Yeah. I didn't pick him.
and you quote tweeted, and you're like, well, if you're DeMar, would you rather be a 9th seed in the play-in making X amount of dollars with the Lakers or a 9th seed in the East making X amount of dollars with the Bulls?
Yeah, that was funny.
Because with the Bulls,
I think that was a pretty astute point that you made.
I mean, it's kind of joking, but it's kind of serious too. Like, his options are going to be, okay, you want to go to LA, you're going to have to play for the mid-level exception. And you want to play in LA in the West, like, you're going to be the 9th seed there.
Might have to fight Bronny Jr. for minutes.
Ooh, damn. That's
So-
actual possibility. Oh, shit.
Like, I think this situation there's a chance that DeMar kind of holds out in free agency, lets things progress to where the Bulls can try to move Zach and then bring DeMar back. But what if he gets an offer from the Lakers or something, or the Clippers, or it's just, I feel like the Bulls are being held up by the rest of the league in a way that because of the direction that they're trying to go with this, they have opportunities. This is something you said that was a great point. They have the ability to regain some power and operate from a position of strength if they go one direction.
Right.
But because they are seemingly trying to go the same direction and just like wiggle some stuff around the edges, they're going to have to wait on a lot of these teams.
Yeah.
And what happens once free agency starts after the draft and you still can't sign, or Patrick gets a $20 million a year offer sheet from a team and you still haven't moved Zach yet, and matching that now puts you into the tax. Like, what do you do?
When you don't make a decision is made for you.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what the Bulls situation is. Like, they say these things that they want to do. We know what they want. And it sounds like a decision is being made, but they're not moving towards that. You know what I mean? They're kind of stepping in and kind of still looking on this side like, well, we can still do this. If you don't make that decision about where your team should be going, and damned if we agree with it or not, we're going to yell about shit regardless, all right? But damn if you agree with it or not. But you have to make a decision. That is your job, or it will be made for you by the league and put you in a position your ass might not want to be in. As I told him, operating from a position of weakness.
Yeah.
You got to make a decision. It's the only thing they can really control, Will, is their mind state right now about where they want to go.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I totally agree. But let's say you will lose your job if you don't make the plan next year. How do you do that? If you can't rely on Zach, but you also can't move him, you have to rely on DeMar, but you also can't re-sign him until you move Zach.
Right.
Like, what do you do?
But I'm saying you have to say
Sign
that.
5 Javantes.
Yeah, but I'm saying you have to have that mentality like, this is what we're going to do, period. And act like you're moving towards that. We don't feel like they're moving towards anything right now. And that's the point I'm trying to say.
Until they prove that they are, they're not.
They're not.
So
and it'll be made
I'm
for
100% with you. I'm just saying this situation is held up in a variety of different ways. And yes, the Bulls could potentially get in. Maybe Cleveland says Zach is our guy.
Yeah.
And if we put him next to Garland or Mitchell, and we've got Strus next to him, you've got 2 backline defenders that can clean up a lot of that mess. Maybe that's their guy. But I think they're going to check in on Paul George first. I think they're going to check in on Brandon Ingram first. And they're going to be in the running with a lot of other teams that are also going to be waiting on this decision from those guys before they actually make moves to where the Bulls can offload Zach. And even at that point, teams are like, $43 million for this guy? Like, I don't know. You got to maybe give me a pick. Would you do that?
There's definitely a tier. There's definitely a pecking order trademark that is like that in this league, man. And like you said, there's a Paul George, there's a Donovan Mitchell, and then there's a Zach LaVine.
And so the other alternative is, all right, we want to be able to move Zach first. That would be great. It would be ideal, but we can't. So now the decision is, do you attach a pick to get off of him, and is that even an option?
Right.
Like both internally and externally? Would you be willing to actually mortgage some of your future to get off of a contract?
See, I just want the decision. I want the mentality.
Or would other teams even say 1 first-round pick for Zach LaVine? Is that good enough?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Make a decision, bro.
So you got to do that, or you got to say, you know what, DeMar, it's been great, but we literally cannot afford to keep you because of some of these other decisions that we've made. Let's work something else out.
Can't pay the tax for a 9 seed.
Yeah.
But something has to give here.
Something.
Because they cannot do that.
Correct.
Ant said, I see DeMar hanging up soon, so the vet minimum isn't too bad if you're referring to him going to play with the Lakers. Hanging up soon? The guy who just led the NBA in total minutes played this season? Right. The guy who grossly outperformed his contract with the Bulls?
He was
and is looking for another one?
He was awesome.
Hanging up soon, playing for the vet minimum? Neither of those things sound like DeMar DeRozan.
And it ain't going to be DeMar DeRozan.
No.
He's playing.
Shout out to Jamal, who said, love the show. I think there could be a 3-team trade.
Okay.
Bulls, Hawks, Spurs.
Okay, talk to me.
If you are at all referring to Trae Young, get the fuck out.
He says trade to the Spurs, I see.
Okay, trade to the Spurs, Zach to the Hawks. Bulls get maybe a little cap relief and pick.
Oh, okay.
Spurs pick,
Your
maybe?
favorite cash consideration?
Hashtag cash considerations.
Shout out JP.
There has been some talk about Wemby being open to the idea of playing with Trae.
Okay.
Somebody throw him lobs. Somebody to run the point for him.
That's all he needs is a point.
I think, and I was listening to, I can't remember if it was Low Post or Hoop Collective. Somebody was having a conversation about this earlier this week, hearing the same thing, and the Hawks looking to move Trae. Would Trae be okay with clearly being in San Antonio where Wemby is the chosen one?
Yes.
Wemby is our franchise. Mm-hmm. You are here to feed him and make him look good and sit behind him.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a great fit.
What is Trae's ego like compared to taking a trade where you're going somewhere where you are not even the number 2, or maybe you are technically the number 2, but you are miles behind the number 1 as far as who the franchise is built around and prioritizing.
The second he finds out he doesn't have to play defense, he'll be fine.
And also, like, Wemby can get his own shot, but he's not somebody that's like dominating the ball on the offensive side.
No, he's not.
I think it's a fantastic fit because Trae can still have the ball a lot, still create. He's got the best lob threat in the league.
7'5",
and
you can put him in the paint. And
also, you don't have to play defense because you've got the best rim protector in the league.
Correct.
Cleaning up all of your mistakes.
All of it.
I think it's a great fit.
He can cheat on steals now. You know what I mean? All day long. It doesn't matter. He'll clean up everything. It's the best.
Yeah, I agree with CJRT saying, not sure DeJounte and Zach would work out well. Not the defensive version of DeJounte we saw this season.
No, not this one.
No.
The one in Spurs, yes.
Maybe.
He was awesome with the Spurs defensively.
Andrew saying, if Donovan Mitchell really is on the market, then Zach isn't going anywhere until he does. Once Mitchell moves, Zach's value increases for the teams that missed out. And, the same thing for insert all-star player here. Like,
He's the second prize. He's the runner-up. You know how Bulls will always get the runner-up?
Prize.
When we would do our free agent signings.
Carlos Boozer, baby.
Runners-up.
The only time that worked out, Pau Gasol. Instead of paying a bunch of money to Carmelo.
Yeah.
Pau Gasol, 2-time All-Star, All-NBA. Damn. For a team that made the conference semis.
Dude, we had Melo, though.
Oh, dude. Melo, I saw somebody on Twitter as after Joker's most recent insane playoff performance, Game 5. Melo is being surpassed by Jalen Brunson with the Knicks.
Yeah.
And he has already been far surpassed by Joker with the Nuggets. Mm-hmm. Where is Melo's NBA legacy?
He's a Hall of Famer. That was one of the best to do it.
Sure.
That's
one of the best scorers on NBA court.
Yeah,
but, his 2 teams that he spent most of his prime career years with.
Sure. Well, one might go down as the greatest center of all time. You know what I mean? So, okay. And Jalen Brunson is having just an incredible playoff run, which Melo never had in New York, so.
I think I saw he first player under a certain height to average 40 or more through his first 10 postseason games in a single postseason run.
That sounds right.
Allen Iverson didn't even do it.
That sounds
through
right.
Brunson's playoff games thus far. Shortest player in NBA history to average what he's averaging.
It's amazing.
He's been incredible.
He has. He's been great.
Crazy.
He's been great.
Knicks took a 3-2 lead when a lot of people thought that they might be dead with all their various injuries.
Oh, that New York power.
Man. It's
Suck it, Knicks.
right there behind TURTLE power. Go Ninja. Go Ninja. Go. Shout out to Caesar in the comments who said, hey, just watched the Sell the Team video. Which one? And now came to find this live one. As a Spanish Bulls fan, I feel like you guys embody the real passion of being a Chicago sports fan.
Thank you.
Love your content. Appreciate you, Caesar. Glad you found us. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button. We are about out of time here, but thank you for joining us. Hit the like on your way out if you didn't do it yet. And one more show on deck for y'all tomorrow afternoon, 4 p.m. Central, to round out the week. Y'all going to hold that down because I have to go hang out on the bleachers with Cody.
Have to go.
Friday 120 Club, guys. I'm filling in. I was asked. It's part of the job this week. I got to go get drunk in the bleachers.
Congratulations. Have fun.
I mean... pop in.
What do you mean? I mean,
the
answer is thank you. What do you mean? I said have fun. I don't know, Dave.
I will. Thank you.
Drinking in baseball. I
am not prepared to be at Murphy's Bleachers at 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Yes, you are.
That is an
You've done
early
it before,
start,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Much, much further back in my youth.
You'll be fine. Kevin will be there.
I can gear up for. Kev's going to. Kev, are you cracking a beer at 10 a.m.? Okay,
Yep.
well, if Kev's doing it, then I
Kev's
have
doing
to.
it. Yeah, exactly.
He's even older and crustier than I am.
But the hair is amazing.
I mean,
look at the hair.
Rockabilly Youth Pastor.
And he's running marathons. I don't know about you, Matt.
Yeah,
but he's running
but
marathons.
I saw sadly because it's overlapping with the Bears London trip that he's not doing the Chicago Marathon this
he
year.
planned it that way. He didn't want to do it again. He set that up.
Probably was like one and done.
Yeah,
one
look at
marathon, never again.
Yeah, snacking and eating in there right now. Look at him. He don't want to do it no more.
That's what I would do.
Join us, Kev. Join us on the couch.
Gonna go get myself an Italian beef deep dish. Thank you for tuning in. Hit the like button. Follow Will_Gottlieb on Twitter. If you haven't checked it out yet, if you are a diehard, go check out that draft database. If you aren't a diehard yet, there's your latest and best reason. Sign up to become a diehard to get access to the GOAT's 2024 draft class database. Available to diehards only.
Yeah.
Big Dave is at BowBAWL Sports. Our pal and producer, son of George Sr., with the lettuce. Joey's Bathos at Joey's Bathos. I'm Bulls_Peck. We are CHGO_Bulls. Have a great evening. Enjoy Nuggets Wolves Game 6 tonight. And talk to you tomorrow. See you, Reb. Be good.
Peace. Love.